well.
I recently watched a documentary about the flat earthers
Oh,
on Netflix.
no, that's
Have you
nice
heard
that you
about
bring
it?
this up. That was one of the other subjects that I was coming across. So now you're a flat earther.
No,
Oh, really?
no, because no. I mean, no.
All right. Debunked, I would say. That doesn't really need much more than that.
What do you think about it?
I don't really think about it much.
I mean, you have.
Yeah, it's a gift from my mother.
It's not an earth, but it's.
Well, it's something.
It's a ball. It's certainly not flat.
You are fascinated with glowing objects.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. You can caress it and take care of it if you want. It's friendly. It's friendly. I think.
It changes color.
I think it genuinely. You know, in an earlier episode, I once said that it is very useful to actually open up your mind and listen to people who have widely different opinions about things than you do, because there's something to be learned. And I'm trying to make sense of where it comes from, because, well, truth to be told, if you don't have the technology that we have today, it's a plausible hypothesis that it is flat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as we can tell, it is.
Yeah, as far as
Because we don't see very far. Yeah.
Sure.
You don't see very far, and
But yeah, that was also like one of the explanation of the flat earthers, because it's like if you just look at it, it's flat. It's like,
yeah.
okay, but is there any other proof? Well, we will do some measurements, like I don't know, to find a proof against the rotation of the Earth and whatever. But they just didn't find it.
How come? I don't get it. No, what's weird to me is, why is it so important to them? That's what I'm really intrigued about.
I don't really care if the Earth is flat or if it's a globe or if it rotates or if it's static. I don't fucking care.
But they are very passionate about this, and this is something that is very, very fascinating.
Obsessed.
Yes, it is an obsession, and it has zero real impact on the outcome of your life. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would mean that everything we've ever known about the Earth would be a lie, and several conspiracy theories about the government and stuff like this. But if you start, I don't know, I feel like if you start doubting about this, you can start doubting about everything. You can start doubting about your life. You can imagine, I don't know, maybe you were a robot created for a amusement park, and we don't know.
Yeah, I
We don't
agree.
know.
I agree. One of my favorite stories that has had a very big impact on my life was the story of the Peaceful Warrior. I don't know if you've seen it. They turned it into a movie that is way more popular than the book, as far as I can tell. It's about a guy who trains for the Olympics, crashes in a motorcycle accident, shatters his leg, and still he's training on the horse. And on the rings, and which is probably one of the most physically demanding exercises humanity was able to come up with. You know what that is, like the rings that are suspended from up front, and then you do certain, like holding yourself up. Yeah, you never watched the Olympics?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll show
gymnastics element.
Yeah, gymnastics in general.
Okay.
And 8 months after his shattered leg, he competed in the Olympics and have gotten silver medal, I think. Despite the fact that everybody told him that he will never walk again, and he did. And I wish I could remember his name. I'm very bad with names, and this is why my technician would be very useful here, because you could do my research. Well, we'll put it in afterwards. He told his story and the revelation of the new way of life that he needed to embrace in order to be able to move forward and do his training and get where he wanted to go, by meeting a guy he called Socrates, like a big it's a very interesting. I really
Greek
recommend the
philosopher.
movie. And he has a couple of sentences that changed my way of thinking. I saw the movie version like something when I was 18 or something, and it changed me forever. One of the things he says is that one of the rules of life are, it's a mystery. Don't try to figure it out because it's just a waste of time. It's not going to happen. And that's exactly what I would apply here. So what outcome? What's the difference in the outcome? I mean, does it influence the fact that you have to pay your bills, that you want to connect with people, that you want to find your passion, that you want to fulfill yourself? How is it influenced by a flat earth theory? And is it any useful at this point to question stuff that you don't have the competence to actually judge whether they are right or wrong? And if you don't have the competence, should you be that loud about it? Because
True. Well, I mean, you're always free to express your opinion. That's
of course,
clear. I mean,
that doesn't mean it's valuable, though.
Yeah, true.
Also, one other thing, John Cleese, me thought this from Monty Python, is that the weirdest thing is that the less you know about a subject, the less you actually realize you know very little of a subject. Which means that the stupider you are...
I've heard this citation before.
Of course. It's funny, because the stupider you are about something, the less you realize how stupid you are, the louder you become. And that you see a lot.
Probably.
Which I don't judge on, but I wouldn't say it's wise. Having that said, maybe... I don't know. I don't agree with the theory that we don't need these people. I think it's a healthy thing to doubt things and question stuff that we take for granted.
What you're doing constantly as well.
Sure, especially stuff that everybody takes for granted. But I think it would also have to come with the responsibility of getting competent enough in it so you could actually answer it.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing that's very fascinating to go about conspiracy theories, and they are fascinating. There's no doubt about it. It's fun. I love it. But we'll never know whether humanity landed on the moon. I mean, us.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of discussion about that. Now, again, it's fascinating to listen to it. I love it on the Joe Rogan podcast. It's fascinating, and they have researched this, but you weren't there. It was 60 years ago, 70 years ago? We'll never know. Never know. It's just, it's one of those things, and it's fine. And at the end of the day, it honestly doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Not to me.
Well, to me neither. It doesn't influence me.
Yeah, you see. So that would be my answer. It's, you gotta start asking better questions. Because that don't bring you anywhere. I think it's a very important psychological exercise to figure out, and genuinely we are built to figure out what things to ignore. I would classify this as something that you can easily ignore. It's not as immediate. It's fascinating, but not more than video.
It goes too far.
Yes.
Yeah.
It might be. So exactly. So what's your opinion about the fact that there are people who find you in a position, or find your characteristics to be so impressive that they start to imitate it? Doesn't it tip you off that you're doing something right? I'm still trying to answer the question, how?
Well, I don't know. I never really thought about it. I don't have as a goal to influence people to imitate anything. So that's not something I really think about.
Okay. You don't have to. I mean, it's not a problem. I think we genuinely do as default when we are born.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you learn languages. I mean, that's how I learned, and that's how I see kids learning it.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
imitating,
true. Yeah, true.
copying, and
Of course.
That's why I asked you yesterday whether you had somebody who you looked up to so much that you would actually regard them as an exemplar in finding their path, because that's a very good way of going about it. You don't have to